You know, when you think of sports entertainment, wrestling, and the voice of it, it's Jim Ross.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
At JR's Barbecue on Twitter, there's so many things that we have to talk to Jim Ross about.
Well, he's going to be here this weekend.
Correct. Including, the trip to Philadelphia.
Right. He's got a live podcast coming up this Sunday, June the 14th from 3 to 5 out at Dave & Buster's. That's right on the river there, Columbus Boulevard in Philadelphia. Tickets start at $39. You can get VIP tickets for $79. That includes a meet and greet that starts at 1:30. The doors open at 2:30. You can get more info at jimandconrad.com.
Mr. Jim Ross, Hall of Famer. I'm Eytan Shander, Harry Mays. See, I don't even know who I am. That's what happens when we talk to somebody like you. Thank you for the time and a preemptive, I guess, welcome to Philadelphia.
Thanks, guys. Good to be with you. How's everything in Philly today?
It's pretty hot. Hot and humid, man. It's a typical July. But the first thing I got to ask you is, you only done a couple of these live podcasts. I think there's like 3 of them. Why did you choose Philadelphia as one of the sites?
Well, I got a great affinity for Philadelphia. That was kind of where I made my return from around the Bell's palsy to do the Austin rock match back in the day, as they say. All us old-timers say back in the day. Great wrestling city. You know, we're going to be a lead-in, a matinee before the WWE event there that night, their Extreme Rules show, and a lot of wrestling fans congregating. I hope they'll come by early. Come by Dave & Buster's, have a bite to eat, have a cold beer, and listen to our stories and enjoy the Q&A. So it just seemed like it made sense, and I've never had a bad experience in Philadelphia. And I will eat more than one cheesesteaks, just letting everybody know.
Excellent.
Ready to go.
Now here's the question, the be-all, end-all question. Will you be applying your barbecue sauce to each and every cheesesteak you get here?
As much as I love my barbecue sauce, and I'm much like Terrell Owens, I love me some me, but I would not disintegrate the sanctity of a Philly cheesesteak, even with my barbecue sauce. So I'm going to go come as you are, last man standing. Should be great.
Love it.
Now you talk
what
about
an answer.
That's a great answer. Now you talk about Philadelphia being a great wrestling city. I go back pretty far to when they used to record the shows at the old Philadelphia Arena around 46th and Market Street, and it's not there anymore. And Vince McMahon actually was the guy doing the little interviews, you know, when they do the promo interviews, and then they do the bouts there and stuff. And it was must-see television for me. On like a late Saturday afternoon, they'd run it on television. And then I first went to Hamburg Fieldhouse to see it live. Superstar Billy Graham against Chief Jay Strongbow.
Wow. Nice.
That's pretty. I mean, that goes back further. When did you get involved in the game? What year? What time period?
Oh my God. Well, I'm 67, and I got to tell you, I started watching wrestling when I was in grade school, so I was probably 10. So 50 plus years. We had a 1 hour a week syndicated TV show that was in our Oklahoma territory. And that's also where I got my first job in wrestling. So I say in the, the 60s.
Wow.
I was watching wrestling, and that was kind of my dad knew my passion for it. He didn't understand it. Wasn't proud of it, I don't think, at the time. But he used the wrestling show, which is followed, by the way, by another one of my favorites, roller derby. So I had a very high-class upbringing.
Oh, yeah. I used to watch that too,
following
man.
Pro wrestling. Yeah, following pro wrestling and roller derby. I was an all-American boy here. And so if my grades were good, I wasn't too big a pain in the ass to my mom and anybody else around me as an only child. I would get to watch wrestling and roller derby on Saturday afternoon. So that was my motivation, and so needless to say, I watched it more often than not every Saturday. I loved it. Still love it.
That's amazing. Hall of Famer Jim Ross is with us. Mays and Eytan, 97.3 ESPN. Were you sitting in front of the TV? Were you sitting in front of what you were watching, consuming, doing your own play-by-play?
No, but the guys actually that were doing it, unlike many of today's announcers, were not giving backstory when action was taking place. So I listened to some of these cats today, and and I'm amazed at how good they think they are when they're giving backstory when the wrestlers are striking each other, and it's going uncalled because they know it's a work, they know it's showbiz, and they know it's not the finish. So I'll temper my tone and temperament till it is the finish, which is one of the great exposés of our business, which we don't need any more of. Plenty of those. So, these guys are really good. They kept me enthralled. In other words, I was hearing the message that I was seeing on the screen. It's not always that way any longer. And that'd be akin to a guy like Joe Buck on Fox when the ball's in play talking about what happened at the hotel last night or what this guy had to eat. It don't matter. All the play. And then when there's a dead ball, now give me a little bit of that stuff.
Right.
Well, you have to sell it, too, in the sense of, as you said, the idea of a wrestling match being scripted as opposed to a baseball game is a much easier sell. So you're out there selling it like, if I'm watching it, I don't know that this thing has already been decided ahead of time. And that's what I think is the beauty of you versus others, as you mentioned, that might not be able to do that.
I can tell you, without, as my beloved friend Gorilla Monsoon would say, I don't want to break my arm patting myself on the back. However, you've got to connect the dots here, and you want to go into this thing where that. I'm going to say this: pro wrestling is a hell of a lot harder to broadcast than, and I've broadcast MMA, I've done football, I've done NFL football, XFL football, college football, boxing for CBS and Fox. Pro wrestling is a whole hell of a lot harder to do. And one of the ways I got around having the pitfalls a lot of announcers seem to have is I didn't demand to know everything, every turn in the road. I mean, don't tell me, I don't need to know anything other than any nuance that you feel compelled that I should know to help to tell a story. So the least I knew, the better off I was. And the greatest example I can give you is when The Undertaker threw Foley off the Hell in a Cell in 1998 that people still talk about.
Yeah.
I had no idea that they were even going to do that spot. So what you heard from me was fear and astonishment. I was a little pissed off because it was stupid to do it that way, in my view. And we dodged a massive bullet and saved a guy's career because we just got lucky. Foley going off that cell was not. They didn't run it by me, not that they had to. I don't want to know.
So you really did think he killed him?
Yes, you really did think he was dead.
I did.
Yeah.
Well, here's the deal.
Jeez.
I'm sitting right beside him. A wooden table and the concrete broke Foley's fall. He fell 20 feet.
Jeez.
He landed on his spine. How the hell would I think anything other than the worst case scenario, right?
That's a good point. Fair point. We're speaking with the voice of wrestling, Hall of Fame broadcaster Jim Ross, joining us here on the Lighthouse Insurance guest line. Don't forget, this Sunday, June 14th, he's going to be at Dave & Buster's doing a live podcast. Grillin' JR from 3 to 5. Tickets are available, jimandconrad.com. Now, can you summarize, Jim, the experience that is and was working for Vince McMahon?
Well, you got my coffee down the wrong way. That's the man question. Goddamn. I would say,
things were going fine. We're talking Mick Foley, and all of a sudden, Harry, you bring up Vince McMahon.
Vince McMahon.
Jeez.
I got choked up there. I would say to your sports audience, who's probably wondering why in the hell are you guys talking to a pro wrestling guy? But needless to say, irregardless of that, I would assume it would be kind of like working for Steinbrenner back in the day and maybe Jerry Jones. There was no doubt who the alpha male was in any room he walked in. There is no doubt then and today, as a matter of fact, nothing happens without his blessing or approval. He's hands-on as much as anybody I've ever seen. He detests things he can't control. I've seen guys get asked to leave meetings because they sneezed. The worst cursing I've ever heard McMahon give was himself when he all of a sudden sneezed, a big old hearty sneeze, and he can't control that. So he didn't like it. He don't like things he can't control.
Wow.
So he's a different breed of cat, man. And, some of his great sayings, JR, remember, sleep is our goddamn enemy. Okay. Sounds good to me. Where you going, JR? I'm going to go take a nap because apparently I'm going to need it. But things like that, he's a really unique man, the hardest working guy I've ever been around. And he's built, think about this. You talk about the Philadelphia arena.
Right.
Think about going from that environment, maybe 2 cameras, 3 camera shoots, 4 if you're a big budget and you have a big house, a big crowd, to what he's done now. It's simply astonishing. The global footprint of the WWE brand. Of course, they're going to be in your town in Philly on Sunday, and hope they have a good turnout. I know the tickets are still available. So, but yeah, he's a different breed of cat, man. And he's P.T. Barnum with muscles. There ain't nobody like him. There ain't nobody before him, or there'll never be anybody after him that can walk in the shoes of Vince McMahon. And look, I worked for him for 26 years.
Right.
I left voluntarily. My contract expired, and I wanted to do other things. I worked twice last year. I had a great schedule. It's a wonder I didn't turn into a drunk or moving to Colorado and smoking dope all day. It was just I worked twice in 2018, got paid a lot of money. People say, what are you bitching about? I'm not bitching. I'm just saying I like to work. I don't want to leave the last productive years of my life doing nothing. And with my wife getting killed in March of 17, man, I had to make some changes, fellas. And I had too big an ego to go to see Dr. Phil. Probably should have. But I've made it to the other side, and Tony Khan and AWE have bailed me out, and I'm on the team now, and he has high hopes that I'm going to be able to help him down the road, and that's the same as I do. So when we go on national TV in prime time on TNT, I think Wednesday night, I'm not sure, it's going to be a difference maker for us, and it's not about AWE beating WWF. WWE. That'd be like saying the XFL is going to displace the NFL, the American football brand. Come on. Be realistic. Don't try to sell me that. But the issue is that our goal in AWE is to continue to develop this young talent roster like a upstart, an expansion team in the NFL or something. We got some high draft choices. We got some guys in their prime. We got some guys that have been to the Super Bowl before. And we got some young talents that don't know come here from Sikkim yet. They're still young. They're athletic. They'll try anything in the world, which is to their detriment sometimes. And that's what the fans are going to see on Saturday night on Bleacher Report Live, this live show we're doing from Jacksonville. It's going to be fun, and you never know. It's so unpredictable. And that's the thing about the WWE sometimes. They're so big, so good, they don't change much. And when you don't change, you get stagnant and predictable. You can't really do that and keep an audience.
Do you call matches any different than you have in the last 5-6 years at WWE? And not to say that you approach it any differently, but maybe the product lends to you calling these matches differently?
Absolutely. I am not a prisoner of giving the backstory ad nauseum. Again, if a talent – the talents are engaging in physicality. And somebody, it's all fake. Okay, pal, take it easy. Take it easy.
So is everything on TV.
Nobody, there's not a magic carpet that lets them land easy.
That's right.
The human error's there. Why do you think guys get bloody noses and missing teeth? Because people make mistakes. And you got to work so close because the audience is so aware that if you do anything that looks bad, they'll boo your ass out of the building. So if people are laying their stuff in, it's a little different deal. But I'm just the physicality is really good for us. It's unpredictably good. But I don't call it any differently in passion when I got something to call, and I don't have to go back and retrace steps because, quite frankly, this brand is so new, we don't have very many steps to retrace. Everything is now. Everything is here. What's in front of you? And I just find it bad broadcasting to be doing television, and the fans are hearing one audio message, and they're seeing another on the video. There's a disconnect. You can't make that emotional investment they'll be like, your guys, and one of my best buddies is Lane Johnson.
Yes.
All right, I was just going to ask you about him.
We love him here.
Oh, yeah, he's my boy, man. That much money he making WWE or something.
You're not kidding.
Elite. He's perfect for all that. And what a villain he would be. I kid him all the time. I said, it's always good to see where the world's largest quarterback grew up to become.
Isn't that amazing? 6'7", 6'8".
He could put Nick Boley through concrete, huh?
Yeah, baby. He was a quarterback in
I know.
college. Wayne Johnson. Hey, I saw him. I was at OU practice one time, fellas. This is no BS. It's no hyperbole. I saw him throw past 80 yards.
Is that right?
80 freaking yards.
Wow.
I swear to God.
Man, they ought to put a
course,
trick play in.
Hey, does Doug Peterson know this? Does the head coach know about this? Jim, you might need to let the head coach know that he could throw the ball that far.
Oh, I'm sure. Hey, Blaine's a kind of an alpha male. I'm sure he's displayed his manhood and how far he can throw a ball in practice more than one occasion. But I don't know. Can you do a if he's on the end of the line? Can he take a handoff and still throw legally?
Absolutely. You could make him tackle eligible. You could split him out wide. You could put him in the backfield. You could do anything like that.
Well, yeah, if you saw the Super Bowl a couple years ago, you remember that Philly special play. I mean, this Doug Peterson guy can cook up some crazy plays. I'm sure he could figure out a way to get Lane involved.
And, of course, our guys in Jacksonville that write my checks now have a quarterback to believe in. And
Foles,
you guys facilitated. And I've had a kind of connection with him because he was recruited by my buddies that were in Arizona that came from Oklahoma, Mike Stoops and those guys. So, Tim Kish, they were, and Gronkowski, they another one. And here's what I tell them: I said, so let me get this straight. You guys have Nick Foles and the Gronk, and you can't win the damn Pac-12.
Yeah, it's amazing.
What's wrong with you?
I know.
said, no wonder you got fired.
Well, speaking of, you said Lane Johnson, Gronkowski would be a perfect wrestler too. Yes, but here's the deal. I think Gronk may have has enjoying a little bit of the stardom and the sizzle, which I don't blame him. A young single guy with all the money that he needs, fame, notoriety. I know what I'd be doing more often than not. But that is the thing. I don't know how – it's hard work. These guys are so good, fellas, at what they do that many of us take it for granted that what they're doing looks easy, so it must be easy. And look, the whole deal is the ring's got some give to it, but it hurts. Mm-hmm. My fat ass has been thrown down so many times. I always hated that stuff part of my little career. And the mat covers feels like sandpaper. So it's not an enjoyable gig, to be honest with you. Plus, there's no off season. Right. So I don't know if Gronk would be up to that. Yeah. He might want to work on a smart, like Ronda Rousey did, work a part-time schedule, then a more full-time schedule before she exited. So who knows? But you're right. On a one-off deal at a WrestleMania or something, or like our show Saturday night in Jacksonville, he'd be a huge hit. What's the website again?
I have it here.
Great swag on
JR's BARBQ.com/stores where you can buy all the merch. All right, I need to throw two at you before I end with the barbecue one. You just opened that up as far as, you've been thrown down there a bunch. You are in a very unique and awesome situation that Joe Buck or Kevin Harlan or these other guys are not, which is you're part of the show, and that's by design. So how do you walk that line of being a true Hall of Fame broadcaster, announcer, but also having the luxury of being an entertainer that your colleagues just can't be? I mean, Kevin Harlan can't go on the floor and start taking free throws, but you can get out there in the ring and somebody could throw you around.
The luxury or the burden, depending on the way he looks at it.
Burden, physical burden, of course, Jim, but as far as an entertainment standpoint, I mean, I would much rather see you as an engaged member of the piece of entertainment as opposed to just the average announcer who is just removed from it.
Yeah, that's interesting perspective. Couple of things. I did most of those in-ring stunts untrained, unconfident, and a little bit with trepidation. Mm-hmm. Because ego-wise, guys, I wasn't very good at it in my view. So none of us want to get on live television and in front of your target demographic and suck. So that's why I was normally relegated to very little offense and a whole hell of a lot of selling and getting beat up. Didn't have a problem with that because that's easy to get done. So I was a little leery of all those things. And some of it just didn't make any sense. I did Stone Cold Steve Austin's podcast this week, and I said, I swear to God, when he beat me up in Oklahoma City after WrestleMania 17 to turn villain, I said, and of course, another stupid idea he had. You don't make John Wayne a Nazi, for God's sakes.
Right.
It ain't going to work, folks. I don't care who you are. It ain't going to work. So I said, I thought you were legitimately mad at me because those damn hands were heavy, and your knuckles looked like, some kind of weapon. Mm-hmm. I had little knuckle knots all over me. And then he decided to cut me with a suture instead of the razor blade.
Oh, man. And
that was not cool. Oh, so there's your announcer being a performer and why you might not like it. It's not easy.
No.
I'm ready for my close-up Mr. to mill my ass. I'll get beat up again tonight. Eric Bischoff broke a cinder block over my head. I don't know how you fix what. They know how to take those falls. I haven't gone to cinder block taking school yet, so I was a walk-on. But it was what it was. But it is a hard job. It is a hard job in that regard. But I loved it. I still love it. I'm not going to be asked to do as much of the things as a participant. Now I'm going to do an interview this weekend with Ty Dillinger, the guy who wrapped a chair around Cody Rhodes' head. Mm-hmm. He got 12 or 14 staples in the back of his head at our last show. Oh. Not good. Not recommended. So I'm going to interview him about why he did it. Well, you guys know, and I know. We all know why he did it. It's part of it's how he was cast. But it's going to be interesting to see him tell us why he did it. And can you make me believe that you're being sincere? It's a performance. I'm anxious to engage in that discussion.
Well, this discussion has been legendary. Thank you so much. The Hall of Famer, Jim Ross at JR's Barbecue on Twitter. JR'sBarbecue.com/store is the website where you can get on, and that tab you can get and buy everything from the book to the barbecue sauce to T-shirts in between. This has just been fantastic, Jim.
Right, and the podcast is called Grillin' JR, and they're going to do it live this Sunday from 3 to 5 at Dave & Buster's on Columbus Boulevard. There's a VIP meet and greet at 1:30. The doors open 2:30. It goes from 3 to 5. Tickets start at $39, and the VIPs are $79. JimandConrad.com. Thanks so much for doing this, Jim.
You say the VIP starts at 1:30?
No, the VIP starts at 1:30, it says.
You might want to get there a little earlier.
Yeah, what I'm going to do, I want to get there about 1 o'clock and have my first Moscow Mule.
Oh, beautiful. I love those with the mugs. Yeah, the copper mug.
Coach Stoops gave me about 12 of those, and they're great. I'm dropping names like Larry King here. But I've been using this Grey Goose pear vodka in my mules.
Wow.
Tito's my go-to. But every now and then,
Harry's a big Tito's guy.
Yeah, I'm a Tito's guy too. But I had to have a little off-speed pitch for my game to be completed. And I noticed that some of the ladies that come to my home to enjoy my backyard feel more feminine by having a pear mule than a Tito's mule. I can't explain it, but that's the way it is.
No, I totally understand.
Thank you very much.
That's good work out of you.
That's
Thanks
a hell
so much,
of a barometer to use. Thanks, Jim.